Okay, I'm back from the break, and my partner showed up.
Hello, Pahrump.
He had a rough day. He had a lot of patients as a Monday. So anyway, so Ray's second part of the question was HIPAA and the fact that the state marijuana site, and it shut it down for a couple of weeks. Nobody could get in.
Somebody did hit it then, huh?
Yeah, they couldn't get any forms in and out. And so, you know, the question being is, should they have taken more care in doing that? And that's what these hackers out there, they look for, obviously, is they look for sites where there's information, and they go and they attack these sites to try and you know, rattle their cage, so to say. And what information they got, what information was released is different. But I think any website that holds information is at risk of getting their information taken, and they hold sites. So government agencies hold sites, Blue Cross Blue Shield. They what we do in the medical community is we use cloud-based software, so we don't hold any information. So all of our software is done off-site, so there's nothing that they can hack into our system, but they can't hack into the system that holds the patient chart. So there's a lot of cyber, you know, obviously it's out there everywhere, a lot of cyber security, a lot of cyber hacking, and it really has, I mean, if people don't realize it, it really is a new era.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's like opening, like someone said the other day, you know, files used to be kept in a vault, where only a certain person can go there and get those. They had a lock, they had a key, whatever. Now files are kept in the cloud or kept in some cyber thing, and it's just a matter of finding your way. It doesn't like you have to break into a building, break into a house, break into a thing, and then break into a safe. You basically, it's quiet, it's silent, it's you know, so yes, I mean, and I think we as practitioners take a lot of care, but we're small, but they look for sites that are big where they can make an impact, and so it's kind of an interesting thing, and Ray, and I think, you know, everybody needs to protect their information, right? I mean, we got Ray back. Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah, one thing that I heard about a year or two ago, that a lot of information is stolen by people who have access to your Social Security number. And that happens in dentist's office and doctor's offices. Sometimes some of the employees are able to have your Social Security number, and it leads, they get so much money for every SS number, name, address, date of birth, and they sell it on the market. They may get $10 for each one. Are you aware of this, or is this something that just occasionally happens? Whenever I go someplace, I don't care where it's at, I put the last 4 digits. I don't put the SS number, and if they complain, it's too bad. So if you can comment on that, because the figure I was getting was $10 for that information. So some employee might get 100 of them. They get a large, $1,000, and they sell it to somebody who then maybe can use it to get credit cards or whatever. So that's my other question, and I'll listen after I hang up. Thank you very much. Hey, hey, Dr. Christensen, good to see you there.
It was good to see you in the office the other day, Ray.
Okay, it was nice seeing you. All right, here we go.
So, yeah, I mean, I know that information is for sale. That's why I think you have to have you can't prevent somebody from taking that information in a doctor's office, and if you find out about it, you find out about it. But usually what happens is, you know, you have a select population that gets, that reports things, and then they can backtrack it to that individual. But that's why you have to have, you know, companies like LifeLock. Experian has a good program that's free. So you keep track on your information and lock it out. I mean, the chip readers in the card are pretty interesting, but you know, I went to Maverick to get gas, and then 2 days later, and somebody else did, they had a reader. Someone had stuck a reader in the Maverick gas station. So all of a sudden, I'm starting
Very common.
Yeah, I'm getting a charge from, you know, this taco shop, Taco Bell, you know, all these other places. So, you know, and you walk into these restaurants, and you know, they don't look at the card, they don't look at the ID, they just swipe it and hand you the card back like at Starbucks. So anything that's less than $25, they just don't even bother to check your ID. And I think, you know, it would catch a lot more fraud if they did that. And you hope you hire good people in your office and you do background checks to make sure that they're not doing that. But times are tough, money's hard, and here's your blanket Christmas card. So, it's a shame that people would do that, but desperate people do desperate things. So
that's another sign of the times with the technology, though. The ATMs, they'll put a cover over an ATM and get all of your information, go in and take all of your money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you just have to be, buyer beware. And yes, it is unfortunate that the state didn't take, better care of that, and they might get dinged by the government, but because they are the government, they probably won't.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just one of those things where I wish we didn't take your Social Security number, but a lot of Medicare numbers are Social Security numbers. There's a lot, and one of the things that they do in Medicare fraud that I didn't even know about was they'll just go in and set up a doctor's office with no office, no nothing. They'll just get all the credentials. They'll just set up an office.
Just the front end.
The front end, and they'll just start billing Medicare out of it and pocket hundreds of millions of dollars. And when Medicare shows up, they're gone. They've got the money and they're gone. So this is one of the bigger frauds. I mean, it isn't that doctors are billing for services that aren't being done. It's because they're actually billing for stuff that's never being done in a whole group. So this one doctor, I heard the story, he said, well, didn't you know about your other office? He said, I didn't know I had another office. Oh, yeah, you had another office, and it was just on the other side of town, and it's doing a great business. And at the end of the day, you're the one that's left holding the bag, and you get an explanation of benefits from the insurance company, and I know that a lot of patients don't question that, but they should. I mean, if they see things on there that don't match up with what you did, like at the hospital or everything else, you really should ask a question. I mean, and don't be afraid to ask a question, because even in our office, billers misinterpret what we put on the chart and what we code. So we have those issues. So we always have to have, and sometimes you never know unless the patient says something. I don't know how my front desk answers the phone until a patient tells me they were rude. And, it's just one of those things. So it's always a challenge out there, that's for sure. What's new at your office?
Well, as you people in Pahrump know, we brought Dr. Creig in to the wellness center, and he's taken off like a house of fire. New year, the cold weather, the rain, the arthritis, the pain.
Yeah.
We're busy.
Yeah, I've had a few more medical marijuana cards coming in, and so that's out there still, and I think encourage people to look at that as an alternative for chronic pain.
Yeah, for chronic pain.
And
that's what we are, as an alternative for chronic pain.
Yeah, we got to keep. Sometimes you have to have someone move your back for you if you can't, right? So that's you, right?
Well, at least to kickstart them, to get them going, and then teach them some new lifestyle. It's just like the gentleman that quit smoking. You got to make up your mind that this is what I'm going to do, and I want to be healthy, so I'm going to eat better. I'm going to exercise. Yeah. If I got sciatica, I'm going to go get traction. If I've got radicular pain down my arm, I'm going to go get traction on my neck. They're going to show me how to stretch. They're going to show me how to exercise. They're going to show me, a different way to be healthy. And the bottom line is we were designed to be functional, clear up till the day we die. You just got to keep moving. You just got to keep moving.
How they say, if I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself.
I hear that 10 times a day.
Yeah, and I realize that, as I move through the medical milieu and see a bunch of things, it's really hard to die. I mean, and people don't understand how resilient the body is, and how
it is amazing.
Yeah, how long these processes take and what they do to you. But when they finally do take hold, it's like a line in the sand. Once you cross the line, the body has reached its maximal regenerating capabilities. But I mean, the body does take a lot of abuse and keeps coming back, and a little bit of care. They talk about that all the time, just like an engine, right? Just a little bit of routine maintenance and a little bit of Medicare, not putting bad gas in it, not putting,
little bit of sleep,
yeah.
little bit of exercise.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Little bit of water.
Yeah, will
you
help.
know, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really will make a difference to your overall lifestyle. And Medicare and the governments and insurance companies are changing what they're paying for. No longer is it a disease and rescue. It's,
preventative.
It's preventative. I mean, and, we're going to be graded on how we prevent certain diseases rather than if we're just there. It's not going to be a fee for service. It's going to be, you have a population, how well you've taken care of that population. And that would keep a lot of people, but you're limited by what people do to themselves. I mean, and like I said, it gets to the point where sometimes you want to take a patient and you want to say, listen, it's like the Spicoli principle, right? If I'm wasting, if you're wasting your time and not taking care of yourself, then you're wasting our time. And if you're wasting our time, you're wasting my time. So the bottom line is, if you don't want to do a few things, if you don't want to eat better and try and control your diabetes, then why are you coming to the doctor? I mean, that day of me curing you when you don't want to help yourself is gone. I mean,
well, I think that we as a population have developed a paradigm, and a lot of it's through the marketing that you see on television. Take a pill for this, or take a pill for that, or ask your doctor for this medication. I mean, I don't get asked about medication. I get asked about vitamins and nutrition, but I'm sure every day people come in and go, "Hey, I've heard about this, or I've heard about that." But it's, I always tell the patient, you can take that pill and you can put it on an X-ray, but if that pill doesn't change that X-ray, it's just masking the problem.
Right. Right, and I that's a very good statement. And we've been used to walking in, and really you walk into the doctor's office and it's the prescription is what you came there to get, and if you didn't get that, there are a lot of people that leave and feel like they weren't treated correctly, or they weren't given that. But you're right, trying to not use medications in certain conditions is very appropriate, and really the way it should go. Because if everybody did everything right, just like the casinos, if you got up $10 and you walked out, the casinos would go broke. Right, but they don't. I mean, and if the doctors, if people took care of themselves, there really wouldn't be a need for us doctors. But it is a system, and hopefully we'll get Obamacare and Affordable Care Act may turn into the actual Affordable Care Act.
Oh, I hope so.
And there might be something good about that. What do we have? About a few more days left for
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back on the break. Thank you for tuning in.